Have you heard about Yarn Lane, a TV show dedicated to knitting, crochet and all things yarn, bringing you demonstrations from our expert guests as well as the latest tools. And find out what's coming up on the show by following us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our email newsletter or visit the programme guide on our website at www.yarnlane.com.
In need of a crafting fix? There are so many ways you can watch Sewing Street and Yarn Lane. Sewing Street is live from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. every day on Freeview 72 and Sky 670. Alternatively, if you want to watch us on a tablet or on the move, you can tune in on our YouTube channel, the Sewing Street app, or the websites at www.sewingstreet.com and www.yarnlane.com. You can watch past shows on Sky 670 from 1 p.m. every day, as well as our YouTube channel, the app, and our website. Yarn Lane is on from 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Visit our programme guide to find out when and what's on. So you never have to spend a minute without us.
We know that shopping online can be a confusing and sometimes daunting task, and sometimes all you want to do is talk to a human being. Well, our family-run customer service team are on call 24/7. They're full of friendly, warm-hearted individuals, all trained to make your shopping experience as easy and as enjoyable as possible. And not only will they take your order, they will also help and guide you on your shopping journey, so you never miss out.
Have you heard about all of the different ways you can shop with Sewing Street and Yarn Lane? You can either shop on our websites, sewingstreet.com and yarnlane.com. You can also order by phone by calling our friendly UK customer service team. For Sewing Street, call 0800 001 4433, and for Yarn Lane, call 0800 4700 600. And don't forget about the Sewing Street app. Here you can shop all of the Sewing Street products as well as watch the live shows from anywhere. You can download the app onto your smartphone or your tablet by simply searching Sewing Street in your app store. And one final thing, no matter how many times you check out on Sewing Street or Yarn Lane in one day, you will only pay one postage and packaging. Happy shopping!
Follow Sewing Street and Yarn Lane on Facebook and Instagram to keep up to date with what's coming up on the show, as well as being the first to know about our amazing offers. Get involved with our competitions that are exclusive to social media. And pick up some top tips from us too.
Are you a fan of Sewing Street and Yarn Lane? Why not join our growing Facebook fans pages? Just search Sewing Street Fans and Yarn Lane TV Fans on Facebook and click Join Group. It's that simple. Never miss out on the latest news and updates from our presenters and guest designers, special offers and plenty of chat with your fellow fans. Share photos of your makes, ask for advice, interact with your favourite guests and presenters, and be a part of the ever-growing sewing and yarn community. See you there!
Missed the live show? Don't worry, we recorded it for you. Never miss out on your favourite presenters, guests and makes ever again. Head on over to our YouTube pages to watch back the day's live show and enjoy your favourite demos over and over again. We also have lots of great content exclusive to our YouTube pages, such as product demonstrations, troubleshooting videos, and so much more. Subscribe and turn on the bell notification so you never miss a show or video ever again. Have you heard about Yarn Lane, a TV show dedicated to knitting, crochet and all things yarn, bringing you demonstrations from our expert guests as well as the latest tools. and find out what's coming up on the show by following us on Facebook and Instagram. Subscribe to our email newsletter or visit the programme guide on our website at www.yarnlane.com.
Hello, welcome to Yarn Lane. We are the only shopping channel in the UK totally and utterly dedicated to all things yarn, whether it be crochet, whether it be knitting, whether it be macrame, all sorts. We do loads and you love it. Right, now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the website. I'm going to show you the website, www.yarnlane.com. It is block of the month today. It's block of the month. So click on watch the live show. So you can either send me a message on there, or you can send me a message on the Facebook page as well if you want to. That's Hannah saying hello, the producer, if you didn't know her. And Emma's in there as well, but she's not allowed to do any typing. Right, if you scroll down the page, you'll see pre-order. In a minute, when we introduce things, they will go to two columns. You'll have your show deals on the left-hand side and your pre-order on the right-hand side. But straight away, everything will be on pre-order, on show tunes. Show deals even. Crikey, I'm not doing very well today, am I? Right, so what is block of the month saying? Well, this is number 4 we're on to. They're in a random order. You can get 1, 2, 3 already. So today you can buy 1, 2, 3, 4 crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4 knitting. There's no picture for the block of the month 4. Have the picture people gone home? Is this the idea? I don't really know what's been going on. So what I'll do is, everything's available there. What I'll do is I'll introduce you to Wendy Orlando and she can explain exactly what block of the month is. Then you can come back to me and I'll go through all of the details of what you can buy today. Oh, got to make you aware. Crochet block floor. Okay, a quarter of the stock have gone already and we have hundreds of these. A quarter stock of the crochet block 4 today. And just under a quarter of the knitting one have gone, not knitting ones have gone too. Right, let Wendy Orlando explain what it is and everything like that, and the blocks we've done so far and the patterns and everything, and then come back to me and I'll go through each one individually. Right, Wendy.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yes, block of the month is literally what it states.
Yeah.
We do a different block each month, and each month we're hoping to bring you a different technique, and then at the end of the 6 months we're going to put them all together to create these gorgeous blankets. Now I just want to just clear something up before we move forward.
Okay.
We are going to be what's called blocking at the end. Now blocking just means to make something fit, basically. You put it to the size you want, you spritz it, or I know Rebecca submerses hers,
yeah.
But it's putting some moisture with it, and then you can stretch it and manipulate. The last month one was one of those cases because I've got the last month's one here. It's one of those that you need to fit it into the blanket.
Right.
So there's an awful lot of stretch on it.
Right.
But you need to make it fit.
So
at
what
the
you're
end.
saying, people are crocheting it up and going, it doesn't measure.
It's a little bit small because, especially with the crochet, they all have the same amount of stitches on the sides, but because this one was done in rows, then it's a little bit different. I mean, you can see the enormous amount of stretch we have on that square, but just bear with us because at the end of when
in 2 months' time, they'll have made all 6.
They'll have made 12 because
each
month you make a granny square in the
Right.
colours, and then you learn a new technique. And we've continued the granny square in the crochet, or the garter square in the knitting, so that each month you can gain a little bit more confidence. But of course, as you do progress your journey, your tension may change.
Right.
Because as you get better, then you might get looser, or you might be knitting or crocheting tighter. So at the end, we will manipulate them into shape.
What you're saying is, if anyone's made one of them at home and it's smaller than all of the others, don't worry, because you're going to resolve all that in month 6.
And this one, I mean, if it is noticeably, if you have got much smaller tension, I say, especially with the crochet one, because it has got the right amount of stitches to be able to join it to the next one. If it's a little bit short, then maybe you just need to do an extra pattern of flowers to make it fit.
Okay.
What you don't want to do, however, is make it bigger, because then it will, you can't reduce something in size, but you can stretch something.
Okay,
so I just wanted
perfect.
to make that one. But
Okay.
that's what the block of the month is.
All
We
right,
do it
so
different.
take me through the block 4 in the crochet and the block 4. Well, let's do all crochet to start with. Just tell me what we've got this month and then go backwards into 3, 2 and 1.
Right, this month we've gone back into the square.
Right.
Last month we did it in rows. We've gone back to doing a square this month. Now this is the V-stitch square. So we start off with a granny and then we work a V-stitch and then we finish on a granny. And the reason we do that is when you are putting 2 or more stitches together in a square, you need to make them work.
Right.
And that's what we've done. So by finishing back on the granny section, it means that we'll be able to put it together again
Right.
with the next squares. If, however, you've just simply bought the kits, I know not everyone is going to make it into a blanket. If you've just bought the kits to learn the technique, there is nothing to stop you making a big square. Once you've started doing the V-stitch, just keep going, on and on and on.
Okay.
What the series has been about is giving the people the confidence to learn the different stitches and maybe put them together in their own designs and their own blankets. But that's the one that we've got for
So
this
that's
month.
in a minute. There's no graphics in because I'm going to take you through all the bundles for sale in a minute. So that there is block of the month 4. That's the one you've never seen before at all. So that's block of the month 4 crochet. So which was block of the month 3 in crochet?
Block of the month 3 was this one. That's that one. And you
so
can
I've got that available. If you're
Yeah.
just joining us for the first time going, oh,
sorry.
I've missed out. I've got all of these available today. But that one in there is crochet block 3. Right?
And then, as I say, you will always get enough material, yarn to do the basic granny square as well. So each month you'll do this one. If you wanted to do 2 of this one, that's fine.
There's enough yarn to do that as well.
It's absolutely fine. And then you're going to go to month 2, aren't you?
Yeah, month 2 next.
Right, so month 2 was
For crochet.
the corner to corner granny stitch. So it's still working the granny stitch, but this time we started from one corner and we worked till we got it wider and then back.
All of these are available on YouTube as well. Hannah will give us a date later on when of each one. Yeah.
And I'm trying to find the first one.
And where's the first one you
The
did?
month one, this one. This was the mitre square. So we start in the corner and then we just only worked on the 2 sides until we got it to the
So that was crochet block 1. Now what we've also done is we've done a knitting one as well. So let's have a look at knitting number 4, which you've never seen before. We haven't had for sale before.
I've got to find it. It should be in the same position because I did put them in the same position. Always upside down because I always start with the rose colour or the red.
Okay, so this is block 4.
So that's that one.
What stitch is that called?
That's a lace stitch. So I didn't block this one, but this one has got like lace.
Yeah,
and
lovely.
we're teaching how to then do a pattern in it.
Perfect. So hang on, that was 4.
Sorry,
now we'll look at number 3.
Right, so now number 3 was
that's
that one.
pretty, isn't it?
So that's the equivalent. They're flowers and the crochet were flowers. But this one you can, because you do it in a graph, you can get that detail, which is brilliant.
Perfect. That's block 3. Block 2, she can't remember what block 2 was.
There he is, there he is. So again, we're trying to
Corner
do
to corner,
everything.
was it?
Was. Everything we do on the knitting, we're trying to do the equivalent with the crochet and vice versa. So this one, you start in the corner and you go out and then you come back in again. And then the first one was this one here. So that one. So
that's nice.
Now that looks really complicated, but it isn't. It's simply knit and purl and knit and purl and knit and purl.
Okay, and that's one. Knitting.
That's one.
That's one knitting. Okay, we'll go back to Wendy in a second to talk about how we make block 4 crochet and block 4 knitting, but I'm going to tell you what I've got for sale here. I've got, oh, hang on, they've been muddled up. Have they been muddled up? Yeah, hang on, they've been muddled up. That's crochet, hang on a second. That one's knitting. That one's knitting. Oh, it might only be one that's got, that's knitting, and that's knitting. So crochet, 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 crochet. So number 1, crochet, what was the number, sorry? AP60. I think yesterday when I unpacked all these, they're all in order. There we go, there we go. Right, it's my own fault. It's nobody else's fault. I'm not going to get all the balls of yarn out, but I'm just going to show you. This was block of the month 1. So you get your 4 balls of yarn. Stylecraft double knit. 4 different balls there. Plus your instructions for crochet block of the month 1. This was mitre square and granny square. So you can make both of those from that yarn there.
Twice. You can make a lot more.
Oh, you can make a lot more?
You can, you could at least make 2 blankets because we thought that you could practice on one and then make
So you
one.
can make 4. So you
2
can make
blankets.
2 of those and 2 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. So from that yarn there, you can make 2 of those and you can make 2 of those. That was block 1 crochet, and that's that one there. Okay. Then we move on to 3rd of May. That was, I thought you started this age, obviously not. 3rd of May, that was, so go to YouTube, Yarn Lane YouTube, 3rd of May, and you'll be able to see block of the month 1, crochet. Crochet there. Right, block of the month 2 is number, please.
That one, yeah,
That's right.
it's that one.
Ends 23, got it here. It's got a different colour blue in this one. Right, So I won't get all those out, but I'll get the pattern out so you can see. So this is crochet, block of the month 2. So this is your corner to corner, and that's your granny square. You can make 2 of those. You can make 2 of those. That's the granny square. There's your corner to corner crochet. That's block of the month crochet number 2. 7th of June, that one was. 7th of June. Right, number 3. $72, yeah. So this one here is crochet block 3. Oh, lots of you coming in to say hello. Hello, Susan. Lots of people coming in. Right, this is block of the month 3. So this one here is the other way around this time. Your granny square plus your sort of stripes on that one. You can make 2 of those. You can make 2 of those from the yarn that's in there. There you go. That's that one. That's the granny square. 5th of July that was on. 5th of July. And then this one, brand new today. Brand new today, this one. There's no picture on the web for some reason, but Emma's got pictures, and I've got this picture as well. So, this is the one you're going to be making today. So you can make the granny square and this one, which is the V-stitch. No picture, there's Emma's got the picture there. There's no picture on the website, though. This is brand new today. This is your block of the month 4, about to be demonstrated. How many? Over 100 of those have gone already. Over 100 have gone already. We haven't even got the crochet hook out of its packet. So they're all the 4 crochet ones. That's the 4 crochet ones. This is brand new today. This is the one, if you've not bought any others, if you've got all the others already, this is the one you want to buy today. And at $14.99. That's quite a nice little thing each month, isn't it? Had to spend £15 every month or thing. Right, so knitting. Lorraine says, good afternoon, John and Wendy. Been waiting for this all day long. So don't let her down. Wendy Orlando. Right, so knitting block of the month 1 is...
Right.
It's got red in it, so it's this one. Bending 50. Right, again, I'm not going to get all the yarn out. I'll just show you the pattern. So now we're on to knitting now, remember. Knitting. Block of the month 1 in knitting. So you can do your plain stripe, and then you do that really lovely, here you go, garter square and basket weave and moss stitch square. The thing is, if you hate that, if you hate that one, you could just do 2 of those. Or if you hate that one, you could do 2 of those. You know what I mean? But you can make 2 of each of those. So you're going to make 4 squares in total. So that's your knitting, block of the month 1. Very simple, garter square. And then that one's your weave, basket weave and your moss stitch. Okay, lovely. So that was knitting, block of the month. Now, if you buy them, you don't get the crochet pattern in the knitting one. You either get the knitting one or the crochet. Yeah, right. Okay, that was block of the month 1 in knitting. Block of the month 2 in knitting. Must be that one there. Right, that's this one here. So again, knitting block of the month 2. These are all the same dates as the ones before that I shouted out earlier. So there you go. There's your plain garter stitch. And then this one here is corner to corner square. That's block of the month 2 knitting. I know I'm being very pedantic about it, but I don't want anyone to order the wrong one, that's all. Okay? That's your knitting block of the month 2. Block of the month 3 knitting. Ends 90s, that's this one. Morag says, afternoon lovelies, love the banter between you two. Sitting in bed knitting a baby cardie. She's got a slip disc. Not the baby, Morag that is. She's really feeling it today. Oh, Morag, there's nothing worse than that nagging pain, is there? Right, this is beautiful. So this is knitting. Block. I wonder why they did that on block 3. They took the pictures the other way around. Oh, it was Wendy. So you've got your garter stitch. And you've got your floral Fair Isle square. Remember, you can make 2 of those and you can make 2 of those. There's your yarns. That's your pattern. Oh, there you go. There's the floral one. And there's your garter stitch one. Beautiful. So that was number 3. Brand new today. Brand spanking new today is block number 4. Knitting. No picture on the website, I'm afraid. But you've got your garter stitch and you've got your lace square. That's your garter square and your lace square. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do the lace square in the knitting and we're going to be doing the V-stitch in the crochet. Message on the bottom before we start. These kits are really very generous and the pattern is so very well explained. The price of these kits is really, really very affordable. Thank you very much from Enid in Lancashire. Enid, I think that was Rebecca and Wendy's decision at the beginning, is that they wanted you to have more yarn than you could possibly want and to give you so much for your money. So it's Rebecca and Wendy you have to thank for that. I'm just like the monkey, they're the organ grinders. And then there's a message from Gail very quickly. Wendy Orlando, what a superstar. Well, I won't go that far. Gail. Thanks for all the time you spent on a Sunday, oh hang on, helping me with block 3. It meant so much and I can carry on crocheting. Oh, have you been doing a bit of moonlighting then?
That's what I was saying about it's the people that are fairly new and their tensions are getting tighter.
Oh, that's Gail, is it? Gail?
I did not say that.
It's your tension getting tighter, Gail.
John said that. I did not say that. John said that. Okay.
But no, isn't that lovely? That see, that's what we love about Yarn Lane and Sewing Street, is we are all approachable. If you need to know something, I'll always help if I can. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I'll always help if I can. Right, so, do I need to do any of this before I go on? Or am I just going to say the hooks and the knitting needles are on? What size knitting needles do you need?
4.5.
4.5 inch knitting needle you need. And crochet?
4.5.
4.5.
So, yeah, because they do
compatible.
Correspond. Yes, they do.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't
So
know that.
what?
They're all available on the website. I want to look. What's this here then?
Crochet hooks.
Oh, what?
Crochet hooks with
6 rainbow soft grip crochet hooks. They're nice. They'll be on the website as well. They're on the website.
And the
too.
soft grip are great if they're just a little bit.
Oh, I need that because it's like when you write all your Christmas cards, your hands like this.
No,
after.
you don't crochet. So
No.
you don't need soft grip crochet.
No, but I need soft grip pens. That's what I'm saying when I'm doing a Christmas card.
Now that
Anyway,
that is definitely
less of the
right.
lip, lady.
Which
what
one-
do you do
which
first?
one would you-
Which
what-
one should we do first,
what
Hannah?
would you like?
Crochet, please.
Oh,
crochet,
okay, I've got
please.
my knitting out,
Right, I
so
need
get
to
my
tell you that the
knitting
crochet
out.
one is absolutely flying out like Billy-O. Right, off you go.
And this is another one of those that will need to be manipulated because you're doing different stitches within a block.
Right.
We've got, as I say, we've got the V-stitch because it's all about learning the techniques. And if you do want to just make a big V-stitch blanket, we've got plenty of wool in there. But we did want this series to be...
Oh, that one's not very good.
No, I've left the corners off so that I can show you some...
Oh,
Sorry.
okay. Thinking that's not a square.
Yours will not look like that. It's just that as you change stitches and work through the square, you have to do different things. So I just wanted to make sure that I just showed people how to do that.
Perfect.
So you literally, with this one, just start off as you would with the basic granny square. So we do that for these rounds here. But then we're going to start doing what's called a V-stitch. Now, again, sorry, I'm just looking for my hook. I did put it, so I heard it clanking and you give me a glare, didn't you? See, it's doing it again,
was that what it was?
Sorry, it was my crochet hook clanking.
Thought it was your hips.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no. So we're going to be doing what's called a V-stitch, and it literally is. It looks like a V. That's. It just looks. It's this little stitch here. I don't know if you can come in to that one, Emma. It's this little one here. So we've got our basic granny trebles here, which are 3 in a row, and then we've got these that just look like little V's, and the V-stitch makes perfect blankets. But they all act differently. So these ones here are quite tall and erect because they're all together.
Are they V-stitches?
They're not. These are the granny stitch.
Yeah,
so these are
yeah.
tall and erect.
Yeah.
Whereas the V-stitch is created by doing a treble and a chain and a treble.
Yeah.
And what that does, instead of being erect like that, like at the trebles in the granny, they're pushing them out slightly.
Right.
Which means that they then behave differently in the round. And they're stretchy. They're a little bit more stretchy than these ones.
Okay.
So that's why I've worked out how many rounds that you need to do to get it to what you need to get it to fit into the blanket.
Perfect.
But you may find that the V-stitch is pulling, you can see that it's pulling them in here, but there is a huge amount of stretch in them.
And this is what the blocking will sort out.
And this is what the blocking will do in the final month.
Okay.
If you're just decided to go and do your own thing and make your own blanket just with one square, then it's not really going to matter. You don't have to block it. But if you're doing different techniques and putting them together, then you really should.
Right,
You'll get a much neater square.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to create the V-stitch here. Now I've just done a little square because I didn't want you to see me going all the way around the outside.
Okay, so what's that there then?
So this is the start. So you've got your little section here, which is just your granny. So I put the tail. I normally do my ends as I go, but this one I didn't.
Okay.
So you start with your granny square here, and that, because I didn't want to go all the way round and be here forever, I've literally just done the first 2 rounds. But as you can see here, you're going to do 1 of each colour, so you're going to do 4 rounds of the granny square.
Okay.
It's all written in the instructions, but I am confident that if you are now on month 4, you're just going to pick your yarn up and do it. But do read the instructions all the way through. So now we're going to do the V-stitch, which is, as I say, this here that looks exactly like a V.
Right.
And all it is trebles. Now, I know you know how to do trebles because that's what we've been doing. So this is all what we're going to do now. So the first thing we're going to do, now remember I've only got 2 rounds, you're going to have more rounds than this, but I just want to teach you the technique.
Yeah.
Now to start with a new colour, I always start, it doesn't matter where you start in the corner, and I like to tell people to start in different corners because that way your eye is never drawn to the 3 chain.
Right.
I do, some people call it a standing treble, I like to call it a dummy treble. I have shown that in the past what to do, and that eliminates the 3 chain, you don't see it. But I'm just going to show for those of you that have never done, that don't know how to join the new colour. So you put your hook through one of the corner stitches, which is the 2 chain in between the corner. We put our yarn over and then we pull our hook through and we chain 1, and that secures. So now that is nice and secure in that corner. I'm then going to do a chain 3. So a chain is just yarn over and take the loop that was on the hook over.
Chain 3 in the air.
That's it. See, you're learning, aren't you? I'm very impressed. So now we've got our chain 3. Now that counts as our first treble.
But it's a fake treble.
But it is. But we're doing a V-stitch.
Right.
Now a V-stitch, remember, is a chain 3. Is a treble, a chain and a treble.
Yeah.
So that's our first treble. So now we need to do 1 more chain.
Yeah.
So we would normally chain 3, but in this instant we chain 4, and then we just do a treble back into that corner stitch. Now I have created a V-stitch there.
Right.
It's as simple as that. It's literally treble, chain, treble, all in the same space. Oh, thank you.
I can see a little crab there.
And now I'm going to create a corner stitch. So it's exactly the same as you would with the granny stitch. I do a 2 chain to create the space for my next corner, and then I'm just going to work another V-stitch back into the same space where I've just worked that first one.
Right.
So to do a treble, yarn over, insert hook, yarn over and pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, take off the first 2, yarn over, take off the second 2. So now we're doing a proper V-stitch because this one here, it was like a dummy one to start off with. So we do chain 1 and then we work another treble back into that same space. Now, as I say, we are on month 4, so I'm very confident that you'll know that that looks like a corner stitch. So that's absolutely fine. It's all explained in the instructions because it does make a difference where you put your next stitch. Now, if I can bring this one back in here, this is the round that I'm just working on now. So I've done this. This is my corner stitch here. Now you can see the previous round's corner is there, and I work a V-stitch in the large space.
Right.
So remember, a V-stitch is we're going to treble. So yarn over, insert hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, first 2.
So it's the next big hole, is it?
The next big space. Then we do a 1 chain, and then we go back into that next space, into the same space to create our V. Now you will see with this one, I'll bring this one back in, the next stitch is worked in the centre of the trebles, and then we're going to work in the big space, and then we work in the centre, and then we work in the big space. Now what that does, it makes the transition from the granny square to the V-stitch square, to the V-stitch round. And that's, in crochet, how you make that transition between the two nice and smooth. Because if I'd have just done it in each of these, then it would have drawn that V-stitch in. So you have to work out how many V-stitches you need to go across. And then it's simply a case of working all the way round. The next round is even easier because instead of having to worry about working into these trebles, you just work into the centre, if you can see there, into the centre.
They at home don't have to work any of that out. You've done all that working out for them.
It's all in the instructions.
Yeah.
It is, and that's, like where we rip it out and we start again, and because you just want to make the transition between one stitch, even though they're both treble stitches, because they're created differently. So one is 3 trebles and one is treble, 1 chain, 1 treble. They do different things and they behave differently. And I've always saying this, that they may be the same stitch, but it's the way that you form them that make them behave. And as you can see, there is an awful lot of give in this one.
Yeah, of course.
So that's the V-stitch. And you just keep going, and what I like to do in my patterns is I like to give you pretty much row by row. Sometimes with patterns they'll just go, oh, you do this. Yeah. And it's like, oh, I don't really know what I'm doing. But with the patterns, when I write them, I like to tell you that even if it's a repeat of a row, like, well, don't quote me because it's not row 12, but say row 12 is a repeat of row 3, instead of writing it all out in detail again, you just go look and see what you did on row 3.
You can see that.
But I will show you and tell you row from row. And I've just noticed something that I've not noticed, and that's gone through like 3 people proofreading that the picture that is next to it, that picture is, let me have a look.
It's the wrong one.
Yeah, that should be, yes. So just ignore that picture. Just go by the picture on the front, and that's gone through 3 people.
Are the both pictures the same thing
yes.
then?
So
you put the granny square in on both the pictures, so ignore the picture on that one.
Go by the picture that's on the front.
Front picture's correct,
Look at the picture from the front.
Yeah.
I think I removed it in the knitting one because I just thought it was so small you couldn't see it anyway.
Yeah.
So just go by the picture on the front. But yes, I tell you that in that blue row, I would tell you exactly how many side stitches, and then in the pink row how many, and then in the cream row. Because if you are new to a new stitch, then if you're not told how to do it, it does get rather confusing.
Okay.
Right, so that's why you've got my corner missing. I did make this square, and then I thought I'd just like to explain what you're doing. How are we for time? We okay for time?
We're all right, we're okay.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Because we then need to make the transition from the V's and we need to turn it back into a granny square. So this green round here is pivotal because that's what makes the difference to be able to create enough holes to then end up with what we need to fit to the rest of the squares. So is the green one not granny and not V? Is it something different? It's just trebles. It's not trebles are the basis of the whole of this blanket. So it's trebles, but it's where you place the trebles, again, that are really crucial in here. So you can see here that we've done the corner as we would in the corner, and then you have to miss so many stitches. and then work. We're just working in. Again, I don't know how close you can get in on these.
Yeah, we can come in, don't worry. There we go. You have to pull it down a tiny bit. There you go.
So we're going to miss the first V out completely because we need to, as I say, there's lots of hours sitting and working out how you need to make that transition to get it right. So we're going to work in the top of the trebles in the V. Now you've got the spaces in between, and then it doesn't matter if you pull these, they will spring back, but I'm just trying to show you that a treble has a little hole at the top of it with that little bar underneath. Now that is the top of the treble stitch, so that's where you need to work. We don't want to work in between them, we need to work in that little hole, as you can see what I've done here. We need to work in that little hole in between. And then you need to work in all of those all the way round. And as I say, in the pattern, it does tell you round by round what to do. And then in the next round, we're now going to turn it back into back into the granny stitch. Whereas these are literally just the stitches, this one now we have the sets of 3 in them. And again, I will show you just how to do this one. And I do like to start in the corner. Gosh, that little pot with the pins on is very magnetic, isn't it?
Totally.
Oh my goodness, it nearly came along for the ride. So all we're going to do now is we're going to work a corner stitch. Now, for those of you that are progressing and feel confident enough to be able to work, as I say, some people call it the standing treble, I call it a dummy treble because it's a treble that's pretending to be a treble that isn't. So we're going to go, now I have gone in the same corner here because I did rip them out and then keep working in the same, but I would advise you to start in a different corner each time, just so that you don't see, when you do sew ends in, it is slightly more dense in that area. Now to do a dummy treble, we're going to, instead of, with the treble you would wrap the yarn round once, we're going to wrap the yarn around twice. So I've wrapped it twice around my hook, and then I'm going to insert it in the corner space, and then I'm going to yarn round and pull through. Now what you must remember to do is keep hold of this tail, because otherwise it'll just go flying. It has a tendency to do what it wants. And it's just like a proper treble now, because we've got 3 loops on the hook, even though they're not real loops, they're pretend. So yarn over, take the first, oh you are good John, and the yarn over, and the second. And what you've done is you've created a stitch that looks like a treble instead of looking like a chain. Because the chains, sometimes the chains do stand out like a sore thumb. And this way they're not going to do that. Just bear in mind, if you do this, in the instructions it will tell you to join the round in the 3rd chain of the 3 chain. And of course, if you haven't done a 3 chain, then you have to do it in the top of the treble. But I am very confident that we're on month 4 now.
Okay, so if people do have an issue, what's the best way? Because obviously you don't want to be inundated with phone calls or anything like that. What's the best way of them asking you a question about it?
I'm not going to say private message me, because I've had a lot of people try to do that, and I am sorry if you are one of those. I will not open them. I will just delete them, because I have been caught out clicking on a link, and it's
also it is your time.
It is, of course.
And if your private message is dinging every 10 seconds, you know what I mean?
The best way to get me is if you just email me. So if you email thecraftyco@gmail.com, and then that will come to my business. It's not.
Is that
on
on
there.
here?
No, it isn't on there.
Okay.
But if you go onto my blog, which is the Crafty Co, then you'll just be able to email me, and then that will be better, because then I can have a private, and it's a more in depth, because everyone has a different issue, and then I'll be able to tailor it to what you need.
Susan says she wishes she lived closer to you, so she could do workshops with you if you did them. So do you do?
I'm trying. Well, you know that I have had rather a lot with a poorly pooch at the moment, so I'm trying to get things sorted, but. Are
you planning in the future of doing classes?
Yes,
then?
I will do.
And are they only going to be in your area in the southeast?
Well, I don't know, actually.
Oh, she obviously knows something.
No, they don't have to, do they? No. Because I have a car.
Yeah, okay, there you go.
So
enough ladies want classes.
If there are enough...
Oh, gentlemen.
Yes, please. Yes, we have a lot of very talented gentlemen knitters and crocheters. Thank you very much. But yes, I mean, if some people would like to get together and sort it out between themselves and tell me where they are. unless it's in Scotland, and that's rather a long way from me.
Yeah, Ian says, loving you both on today's show. I don't think the next question is viable, really. How can we get Tom Daly on the show? You must have connections, John, because he sits there crocheting and knitting, doesn't he, next to the
I
thing?
am in awe. Have you seen his, we digress, we shouldn't. He's seen his little doggy jumpers that he's making, and he's done an Olympic jumper. I am absolutely besotted by everything he's making.
Okay.
Fantastic. Yes, he was sitting there doing it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Right, carry on, because we need to get to the knitting one in a minute.
Yes, so all I'm doing now is I've put in my, sorry Emma, I've put in my corner stitch, and I'm going to now, working that first one, which is a rather big gap there, so I'm just going to work in that one with a normal granny, I call it a granny stitch. I mean, it's 3 trebles, but I like to call it a granny stitch. I'm not sure if that's the right term. And then you miss 3 and work into the next space. And you carry on all the way along. Now, I would also say I've had quite a few people message me saying, oh, thank you. On my YouTube, I've actually got a troubleshooting if someone goes wrong.
Right, okay.
And then we just, one of them's quite scary because you rip out the whole centre of a blanket and redo it. So don't ever worry. And they do say you should leave a mistake in there for someone to find. They do say that with knitting and crochet. You should leave a little error in there. And that's how you make the transition from the V-stitch up to the granny stitch, and then you just continue around the rounds. As I say, it does state in there exactly. These are called side stitches, and that's a corner stitch. So a side stitch is 3 trebles, and a corner stitch is 3 trebles, chain, and I will use the word chain instead of 2 chain because some people like to do 3 chains.
Okay.
I find it makes my corner a bit baggy. I only do 2, but a corner stitch is 3 treble, 2 chain, 3 treble.
Okay, brilliant. Right, let's move on to the knitting. Before we do, Kimberly says, I can't read crochet patterns. I've learnt most crochet from watching videos. Do we do a crochet learning on DVD? We don't, but we have our YouTube channel. And have you got a YouTube channel as well?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. So if you want to join either of those, ours are free, obviously.
I'm actually. Well, so's mine.
Okay, no, I didn't want to say.
I'm actually more of a troubleshooter. I like people to go, help, I've done this wrong and I don't know what to do.
Right,
so you'll find me there ripping out the centres
and
of
is your
blankets.
YouTube Crafty?
The Crafty Co.
Crafty Co as well.
So
okay, there you go. Hope that helps,
there's a
Kimberly.
few on there.
Right, now that is block of the month 4 on crochet. Now, please be careful because an awful lot of those have gone. It's granny and V-stitch squares. This is block of the month 4. You've not seen this one before today. There are no pictures on the website, we are aware of that. So this is what you're making. You're making a granny and you're making a granny in V. Okay, knitting.
I will get that sorted as well. I thought I had sent them in, but I will, because obviously I send them in for them, but I will get that sorted.
Oh, it's you, it's your fault.
No, I thought I had.
Oh, who did you send them to?
I'm not going to mention any names, just in case I haven't.
It's a boy or a girl?
I'm not even saying that.
Has she got a frilly blouse on today, or has he had his lips done? No.
Don't you try and draw me in, because I won't be drawn in.
Right, okay, let's do knitting, block of the month 4.
Now, I love this one.
Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Pictures have arrived, but they're not on the web yet. Oh, it depends. Right, ignore me.
Okay.
Right, garter and lace squares. These are. What do you want to say, sorry?
We do all usually ignore you, sorry, sure.
What?
Nothing.
Just get on with it, woman.
So this, I was saying, this is my favourite one.
Good.
Because, oh, that's nice. Yes, it looks like it is a repetition, which it is, because if you are learning a new stitch, you need to keep repeating that stitch.
Right.
Now we're upping the ante this time because we are decreasing and increasing along the row. Whereas before we've just been...
Oh, to create the lace, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's what creates, and it's quite hard. And again, this is another one of those cases that it's like, well, that's not square and that doesn't look it. It's, you see, the amount of stretch that there is in that.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to manipulate it into the square. But I am going to stretch it because I want you to see how beautiful.
Wow.
I just love that, and it's one of the easiest things to possibly do.
Okay.
And I just want to say, I don't know if you're watching, Carol, a huge thank you to Carol, who is the lady that I said, this is what I want, and she sat for hours and hours and hours making it all fit and making it all work.
Oh, so you can't take credit for this then?
Oh no, I wrote it, but Carol was the lady that had the hair pulling where you make it doesn't fit, you make it doesn't fit. So
Oh, okay.
Thank you so much, Carol. I really do appreciate it.
Now this one's only got one picture in it. This one's not got.
Yeah,
the
I took
lace
the other
in.
one. Yes, I took the other one out, which I should have done on the other, but
Okay.
I must have been having. They must have been in the same place as my teeth that
Okay.
day. My head must have.
Right.
gone.
So how do we do this one?
So this one, and I've only got little needles because I made a horrific noise last time with clanking. So I'm hoping, I do apologise to any, I'm hoping this will be better.
Okay.
You don't want little needles. I've cut these down so that they are little. You want a good size because you're working on.
Like these, you mean?
They're perfect.
They're on the website now. They're on the website now.
And the only
On
reason,
pre-order.
the only reason, because I'm hoping that these won't make so much of a thing,
We'll
but
soon see.
you'll see. But you can see how wide it is, and that wouldn't fit on there.
Yeah.
Well, it would, but it would all be squashed up. And if you are new to, well, you're not new, you're on month 4. I'm
Yes.
going to call them my intermediates now.
Okay, lovely.
So with this one, this is a 4-row pattern. Now, if it was a 2-row pattern, the holes would just be sat on top of each other because you just be repeating 2 rows. But I don't know if you can pick that up. They're going sideways.
It's like clamshells, aren't they?
It's lovely, isn't it? This is one of my favourite one of these.
Uh-huh.
So what we do for this one is very easy because it's only really 2 rows of pattern because the other 2 are pearls.
Okay.
So you do a row of pattern and then a pearl and a row of pattern and a row of pearl. And I've just done a small one because I just want to show you what to do. Now, if you look on the reverse of this one, sometimes on the reverse of them, they're not very nice. This would make an amazing scarf. Sorry, just saying. Just sorry,
Yeah,
I
I
just
like it.
digressed. Yeah, this would make an amazing scarf. So this one, I've just done a small. This isn't as many stitches as you will have
of
on.
course not.
You will have the right amount of stitches. So I'm just going to follow the. So I'm just going to take this off because it's going to clatter, and we don't want any clattering today.
Don't forget it.
Well, I will. You know what I'm like. So we slip the first stitch of the row. Now we do that. Which means that the one at the end would have been a slip stitch from the previous row, so then you knit it. So you always knit it, but you only knit it once. And what that does, it gives a really nice side edging, and you don't have lots of twisted stitches going up the side. So that's why we do it. So to slip the stitch, we just take it off and we put it to the right hand side needle. So we're slipping it from the left onto the right, and then we're just going to create a 4-stitch pattern. Now in that one, I'm just going to knit 2 stitches before I get to, and again, don't worry about this because this is all in the instructions. So I'm now going to do a repeat of a 4 stitches. So I do a yarn over. Now a yarn over, you just take, can you see there? You just take the yarn over the right hand. Now that's put another stitch, although it's not a stitch because it's just a yarn over, it's giving us an extra stitch.
Right.
And then we slip one. And
Oh, you don't do anything with it then?
No,
You
no,
just,
we just put it
put
over.
the yarn over and then go on to the next one.
Because sometimes with an increase you have to knit back into the
Yeah,
stitch.
yeah.
But we've just made a stitch by simply putting the yarn over, and then we're going to slip stitch, and all we do is we slip the stitch off the left hand and place it onto the right hand needle. Now this is the one that we're more interested in, the one we just slipped, and then we're going to knit 2, just knit 2 stitches. And then we're going to do something what's called a PSSO in the abbreviations.
Oh, I know this.
Oh, go on then.
No, go on, you can.
No.
I can't remember.
Whoa. Pass,
Pass, forward, pass. Anyway, don't
pass
listen
the
to me.
slip stitch over.
That's it.
Oh, do you want me at it now? Pass the slip stitch over. Now, remember the one that we put over,
Yeah.
that was the yarn over? You don't want that one. It's trying to, get in on the act, but we don't want that one. We actually want the slip stitch. So we pick up the slip stitch and we pass it over.
Yeah.
So now we've got, these 2 bunched together because they've now made friends. So it looks a bit odd at the moment.
Yeah.
Now that is our 4-row pattern. And that's all we do is
Okay.
repeat that along the row. So we do yarn over,
Leave it.
leave it, slip.
Stitch 2.
Slip,
Oh, am I jumping ahead?
Yes, you forgot your slip stitch.
Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yes, slip
yes,
stitch.
that's slip stitch. Then we knit 2.
Knit 2.
And then what do we do?
PSO.
PSSO with
Yeah.
parcel slips. Oh, you see, but yeah, I'd like to see you doing it. That's the next thing I'm going to work on.
You can't
Now-
afford me.
Do you know
So
what?
is it like,
I
do you
absolutely
do
couldn't.
PSO when you're doing cabling?
PSS.
Yeah, but I've seen somebody else doing it, but I can't remember what pattern
Right,
it was.
cabling is where you have an extra needle,
Yeah.
and it's either at the front or the back,
Right.
and you leave them, and then you pick them up.
Oh, okay, so it's not that.
Oh,
What else
now,
do you do PSS?
we have got cabling. Cabling will be coming up. Not,
Okay, perfect.
I
Don't
know.
worry, I just know that one of the other knitters has said it, and I recognise
But
it.
what I've done is, because I have done a knit 2 and then pass my slip stitch over, that slip stitch is stretched because it has to span over 2. So this is what, I don't know again if you can get in close enough, this is what's giving it this lovely little,
Yes,
up here.
yeah.
Because I've gone
'Cause you're pulling it over, yeah.
Exactly. So I do yarn over, slip stitch, knit 2, and then pass the slip stitch over. Remember, we don't want the one that's been wrapped
No.
round. We want the slip stitch. So we yarn over, slip 1,
Knit 2,
Oh, you're good.
PSSO.
And then PSSO, which is pass the slip stitch over. And then you'll be left, it will tell you in the pattern, I literally do it row by row. Now, the reason I've done it this time, row by row, is if you don't want to change colour where I've changed colour, then you'll know exactly what you're doing on that particular
Right,
row.
okay.
Now, all I'm doing now is I'm doing the second row of the pattern, which is a purl row. Now, these 2 stitches here is where the slip stitch slipped over. So, you know, they're very good friends now. They're very close.
Yeah.
So you may just have to tease one of them out. And then when you've done those 2, you're going to have the big baggy one there, which was the slip stitch before. Just pretend that it's a normal stitch. And you'll find that they even themselves out.
Are you still on the same row? Or have you got-
I'm purling the row back now. So the next row is a purl row. So I'm purling that one back.
Oh, you've lost me now.
So now I've done a row of stitches.
So hang on, so you didn't do the PSSO and all that, knit 2 and everything, right the way to the end?
I did.
Oh, you
were-
did? I missed that.
Well, you're not watching.
No.
Well, at least you're honest.
Yeah,
Now, we do, because we want it to go on an angle, we don't want the holes to sit on top of each other. We now do exactly the same stitches, but we change the sequence this time.
Okay.
And
Oh, I see.
Oh, yes. And we also change what we do at the beginning of the row, but again, it's all in the instructions for you. So this time, before, in the previous row, we did the yarn over first, didn't we? This time, we do the slip stitch first.
Right.
And then we knit 2. And then we pass the slip stitch over. And then we yarn over. So we're doing it the other way round this time. Now, I will just be really, really honest with you. So I'm doing slip stitch,
Yeah.
knit 2, pass the slip stitch over, and then yarn over. Slip stitch, knit 2, pass the slip stitch over, yarn over. Now I've come to the last one, slip stitch, knit 2, pass the slip stitch over. Now I will be really honest, a lot of times I forgot to do that final yarn over because I've just been thinking about something else, what I'm going to do for tea or something, because it's repetitive and you've got a lot of stitches in your row, you tend just to go away with it. But you must do that last yarn over on this row, because if you don't, it is going to put your stitch count out, and if you are fairly new, you will struggle unpicking it, because it is quite difficult to unpick and then work out where you are. But as long as you just concentrate and remember to do that last one. Now, so I've gone right to the end.
Yeah.
So now this was the row where I'm going to go back again.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm having a little bit of an argument now with my wool. So I slip the first stitch purlwise this time, and all that means is I'm going to do as though I'm going to do a purl stitch, but don't complete the stitch, I just take it off.
Right.
And then we've got the big baggy one there, and then we've got the 2 that are being really friendly together. So make sure that you separate them. Don't knit them together.
Yeah.
Because again, your stitch count won't be right at the end of it.
Right. Marin's reminded me, she said the PSSO is often used when creating a pattern when you get a raglan sleeve. We did that, didn't we? We did raglan sleeves a couple of weeks ago. So thank you, Marion. That's certainly when it was. You know what I think I would do? Now, this is going to sound ridiculous now. I would sit with my pattern, right, and a recorder, and I'd go, row 1, slip 1, knit 2, yarn over.
Oh, what a fantastic idea.
And then then you can keep up with it, can't you? Because it's rather than because if this was me and I was new, I'd be going, oh, what was the second row? And then you have to pick it up and do that.
What a fantastic idea! Because what I have done, you'll notice that every other row, and there's no significance in this, other than I've put them in bold, and it doesn't mean anything. It just means that if you're homing in on them, you just think, oh yeah, I was on that row before.
Yeah.
Another thing, what you can do is you can highlight every other row.
I know, but it would still mean, I mean, I'm not, obviously don't knit, but I would, if I had my knitting needles here and my knitting on here, and I was like, oh, what's the next row? And the glasses would have to, you know what I mean, all that thing. Whereas if it was recorded...
That is an amazing idea.
Just to start with, because obviously
That's
when
an
you get
amazing
going,
idea.
and I would literally, you know, just read all the rows out.
But I promise you, it's not difficult. You sin, and it just.
Oh no,
looks
it isn't. But like,
gorgeous.
if you can forget to do one of them, coming back, 'cause you're thinking about what you're cooking for tea,
Well,
and
the
I think,
trouble
I'd
is,
definitely forget.
because I
wouldn't
can knit, and I just got to glance. I don't have to sit there looking.
Yeah.
Sometimes I get to the end and I have forgotten to do it. The first one you won't, because you have to do the yarn over first. But the second row, the third row, in other words, of the pattern, you must do that yarn over at the end before you do the last amount of stitches. Otherwise, you will be one stitch out, and then it affects the whole.
But then
of
the
it.
whole thing would be like that, wouldn't it?
And if you did it every time, then it'll be like a bit wobbly.
Well,
Wouldn't want
some of my
that.
jumpers look like that. Anyway, thank you very much. Is that your demo finished? Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Right, where shall I go? Crochet number 4, like Mambo number 5. Crochet number 4, brand new today. Oh. No, hang on, that's that one. That was there. Here you go, got it. Crochet number 4 is here. I've got them all in the right order. Crochet number 4 is this one. That's brand new today. Series 4, Granny and V-Stitch. And there is now a picture on the website. Brilliant. Now be careful on that one, because the crochet is very, very, very popular. Okay, so you can knit you can crochet, sorry, two of those and two of those from the amount of yarn you've got in there. So that's block number 4, crochet. Have I got time to do all these? Block number 3, crochet, is this one. This is in case you haven't got them before, you missed the last show. Oh, ignore that, that's knitting. I'm going by Hannah's instructions, not me. Crochet number 3, so that one is Granny and Floral Stripes. 5th of July, you can watch that one on YouTube. Then I've got block of the month crochet number 2, which is this one, Granny and Corner to Corner. 7th of June, this one was done. That's number 2, crochet number 2. And crochet number 1. It's like being a bingo corner, isn't it? Oh no, it's not. It's more like aisle number 3, spillage. Right, series 1. This is the mitre square and the granny square. That is your crochet number 1. Very quickly now, knitting number 4, which is the one we were just doing. Knitting number 4 is here. So this one is garter and lace. That's the one we've literally just been doing. Pictures now on the web. So there's your lace one, unblocked. There's your garter. Okay, so that's this one, the one you've just seen today. Block number 3 is this one here, which was a floral fair isle and your garter. There you go, knitting number 3. It's pretty, that one, isn't it? Lovely. Knitting number 2 is this one. Oh, upside down. Garter and corner to corner. That's your knitting number 2. Beautiful. And then last but not least, knitting number 1. There you go. This is garter square and basket weave and moss stitch. you remember when little Paul thought his stage name was Titan Moss? Anyway, Lark of the Month, knitting number 1, that is. There will be another one in a month's time where we'll be... There's only 6 in total, so only 2 more to go. Thank you very much indeed, Wendy. Yarn Lane will be back on Wednesday when I've got 20% off all books. 20% off all books. It's me doing it. So thank you very much for your company. I'll see you tomorrow morning on Sewing Street at 8 o'clock, or I'll see you on Wednesday at Yarn Lane at 12.